You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
Hello and welcome back to AZ-500 Beginner Series. In the last module, we focused on securing the Azure platform, that is, securing network, virtual machine, and access point. Now, in Module 4, we are going to shift our focus to a new critical area of cloud security, that is, protecting your data. Whether it's your files, database, secrets, that is, your passwords, or backups, data is the #1 target in most cyber attacks. So in this module, you'll learn how Azure helps you protect data at every layer. So let's get started. So let's start with encryption. That is your first line of defense. Azure here automatically encrypts your data at rest using Microsoft managed keys. This applies to services like blob storage, SQL database, virtual machine disk, and much more. Here, you can also, if you want, you can choose customer managed keys. This gives you more control. For example, you can store keys in Azure Key Vault. Here, you take total responsibility. Now, on top of that, data can also be encrypted in transit using TLS. So whether the data is being transferred between Azure services or between a client and the cloud, the data in transit can be encrypted. Now, an important takeaway. You cannot choose encryption. Encryption is built in by default. But Azure at least gives you the flexibility to manage keys and customize encryption policies. Now, when we talk about keys, we can talk about Azure Key Vault, a centralized service for securely storing and managing secrets, encryption keys, and certificates. So instead of hard-coding secrets like password or API keys in your code or config files, you can store them separately in a key vault and access them securely from your applications. Key Vault also supports role-based access control, and it integrates with managed identities, which means your application can authenticate without storing credentials at all. It's not just for developers, though. It is also for security engineers to use Key Vault to manage encryption keys and certificates for storage, database, and even virtual machine authentication. Next, let's talk about access control for Azure storage. Well, there are a few ways to manage access to services like blob storage or Azure file storage. First, you can use SAS keys or SAS tokens, which stands for Shared Access Signature Tokens. Now, this helps you to provide a limited access over your resources. It also creates a permission-scoped URL that grants access to a specific file or containers in your environment. Second, you can enforce identity-based access using Azure Entry ID. This is the recommended approach for tighter control and better auditing. And of course, you have RBAC, role-based access control, which can be used to assign permission to users, group of users, or even application at the storage account level, or even on individual container if you want. Now, you should always apply the best principle in this IT environment, that is, the principle of least privilege here. So, only give access that is necessary and nothing more than that. Well, let's move on to data recovery option now. To protect your data, what happens if it is gone? You should be able to recover it as well. Here, Azure Storage supports several features to help protect against accidental deletion or corruption. The first one is soft delete. which allows you to recover deleted files, blobs, or containers within a retention period that you define. Then we also have versioning, specifically blob versioning, which keeps snapshot of previous version of your files so that you can roll back to an earlier stable state. You can also back up your storage account using Azure backup services or even third-party backup tools. Well, these features are not just about security. They're about resilience and making sure that the data is recoverable even if it is gone. Now, to wrap up, let's reinforce the importance of protecting sensitive assets like secret, certificates, and encryption keys. So let's go to the portal and check it out. All right, now let's check out the functionality of the Key Vault and your storage account. So I'm in my Azure portal. Let me create a demo resource group. Inside this resource group, we will put our vault as well as our storage account. So I will call this demo, and I will deploy it in Canada Central. Once it is deployed, then next service I will deploy will be a Key Vault. Just wait for it. All right, so it is deployed. Let me refresh it. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and search for Key Vault. And as you can see, I don't have any Key Vault yet, so let's click on Create. Then in the basics, I will select my subscription, I will select my resource group, and I will give my Key Vault a unique name. So again, for this demo purposes, I will call it demo key. No, it's all used. NITA. How about this? Key. Yeah, nobody's using this one. In Canada Central. And the pricing tier, I will keep it standard. I don't need my premium Key Vault. I don't need that performance for a demo. All right. Now, this is the first recovery option to make sure that you don't accidentally delete your Key Vaults. Azure enables soft delete. Now, days to retain deleted vault, I will make it the minimum, I think 7. Let's do 6. No, it says 7. And why I'm doing this? In case if I have to delete it and it goes into a soft delete mode, after 7 days, it will be gone. Now, the purge protection, again, I don't need it because if you enable it, well, you then cannot delete your environment during the retention period. So this will properly lock it down. If it is a very critical infrastructure and you want to protect your keys or passwords or certificates, yeah, then you can enable the purge protection as well. Then you have to wait for the retention duration. Next, access configuration. Now, how do you want to grant access? With the help of RBAC, or do you want to create the old school vault access policy? Think about it in this way. If you say RBAC, then you can go to access control IAM and then grant privileges to the user. If you click on vault access, then you have to create your configuration inside the vault. You have to give proper permission to the user. Now, I don't want to create access to any of my other resources. So I'll say RBAC is fine, recommended. Now, do you want to enable public access? Well, in some cases, you may want it to connect privately with your VM or let's say your web server. Imagine you have a web server running the critical website and that website need to store some keys, some secrets, certificates in this Key Vault. Then if you only have 2 services using each other, you can create a private connection between them. This will increase the security posture of your environment. But for this demo, I will just say public access is fine from all networks. Click Next, Next. Let it review. And click Create. A Key Vault will be created. That's how quick it is to create a key vault. All right, so Key Vault is now created. Let's go to the resource. You can search for Key Vault. Here it is. Click on it. Perfect. And this is where you can save your keys, secret, and certificates. So if you click on keys, let it refresh. As you can see, if you click here, the operation is not allowed by RBAC. Means I am the global admin and still I cannot access the key, secret, or even certificates. And if you think you can just go ahead and import it, no, you cannot. Let's try it. So I'll just say demo key. I don't need to change any of the encryption type. Everything default is fine. Let's create it. As you can see, I cannot, even though I am global admin. Here, because in the Key Vault, you have to give proper privileges. It is properly secured in Azure. So even if you have global level privileges, you still have to give yourself permission on the Key Vault level. So I will go to access control, add role assignment. Now, these are all the roles related to Key Vault. Now, if you only want to grant someone privilege over managing keys but not certificate, then you will give that person the key level role, not the certificate. But if you want that person to have full control, well, I can make that person contributor. Click next, and I will select myself. Next, review and assign. So when you assign the permission to yourself, you cannot just go immediately to key and create it. Just wait for like 4 or 5 minutes and if possible, log out and log in. So I will do that. All right, so now that warning sign is gone, that means I do have the privilege now. Okay, so let's create a key. So I click on generate, say demo, and create. And that's it, a key is created. Let's create a password. Again, demo, my password is password 1234. I don't need to type this, create. And you can also generate or import the certificate. So I'll just generate one, demo. Self-signed certificate is fine. I will say, okay, nita.com. I don't need to add anything else. Let's create the certificate. Oh. Okay, so the name already exists, so I should change the name. Perfect. So this is how you create your keys, secret, and certificates in your Key Vault. Remember, I just showed you how to create it manually. But let's say you have some application or web server. Well, with the API integration, you can also integrate your Key Vault with other Azure services. Now let's delete it. So can we just delete it directly? Okay, it's just deleted. Now let's delete the secret. It is gone. And now let's delete our certificate. All right, so everything is now cleared out. And if you click on delete, you can delete the whole Key Vault. As you can see, the Key Vault is gone. So it's pretty easy to create a Key Vault and then integrate it with other services. Now, just for the demo, I did it manually, but you're not supposed to create your keys and store it manually every time. When other services are connected, those services will use this key vault as a buffer location to save and protect the critical data. Now let's create a storage account. So I will search for storage account and click on create. I will select my subscription, my resource group, and I will give my storage account a unique name. It should be lowercase and it should be unique globally. NITA storage account. Canada Central will be fine. Preferred storage type, again, I don't have any preference, so I will just say Azure Blob just for the demo. And for performance, I will go with standard tier. And for high availability, if you see here, there are multiple options for redundancy. I will select LRS, which will create 3 copies of my data. So that much of redundancy is enough for this demo. Next, no changes in advance. For networking, I will enable public access. There is no need for private access right now. Click next, and I will disable soft delete. Remember, just like your vault, if you enable soft delete and then accidentally you deleted some data, it will be retained. The data will be retained for the given period of time. Here, you can see that data at rest is always encrypted in Azure. The only choice is let Microsoft manage the key or you can manage the key. So if I click here, then I could have selected my key vault here, but I deleted it. Or you can let Microsoft manage the keys. Next, next, and let's create this. All right, so let's go to our storage account. Here it is. Now I will just upload a test file or maybe an image inside my blob just to see the access. And then we will see how we can configure SAS tokens and give access to a specific user to use it. So let me just go to data storage, click on container, add a container called demo, create it. Now inside this container, I will upload a test image. Yeah, this is fine. And upload. Now I also have to go to settings, configuration, and then enable the blob anonymous access. Okay, so let's go back to container, select it, and change access level to container so that everyone can see this, data. Okay, click on it. Now this is the URL. If you type this URL, you should be able to see the content. Now, what if you don't want everyone to see the content? Well, you can also make it private. So if right now I type this in URL, I can see the content. So let's go back and change the access level to, let's say, private, no anonymous access. If you can still see it, it is saved in the cache. So again, if I do it, yes, let me open a new browser. So in this new browser instance, let's check this out. And as you can see, now I cannot because the blob is now private. Now let's see how you can create the SAS token. If you go to your storage account, then scroll down and security and networking, you will see shared access signature. This is your SAS token. Click on it. Now we will only focus on blob because I don't have any files, queue, or table created. So you can select that. Then I will select the whole hierarchy. So I will give the permission for the service, container, and object. And I give all these permissions over my blob. Read, write, delete. And you can even modify it according to your scenario. And let's say over HTTPS is fine, and generate this SAS key. And here's my key. Now, where will you use it? Well, you can integrate this in your application, or let's say your web application, or any other product you are working with. Just like that, there is one product called Azure Storage Explorer, which you can give to all your employees. It is just an application which they have to install on their computer. And just like a file explorer, they can explore your storage account. So let me open a sandbox environment. This environment will pretend as your employee's laptop. Just wait for it. Perfect. Now in this, I will download and install the Storage Explorer. Download. Let's download it. And it is for Windows 64. Let's open it and install it. All right, so it looks like this. Let me maximize it. Here you go. So this is your Storage Explorer. So if you go to this connector app, or sorry, not the app, the connector icon, here you can decide, do you want to sign in with your credential, and then all the storage accounts in your subscription will be visible? Or you can connect with a specific storage account, then everything inside a specific storage account will be visible. Or do you want to connect with an individual service? So we have the SAS key for the blob, so you will click on blob. Now, how do you want to connect? Do you want to connect with using your credentials or with SAS key? Well, you will click on shared access signature. You will give it a name, a friendly name. I will call it just demo. And this is where you will copy and paste the SAS key given by your administrator or maybe some other official in your organization. Now, this SAS key can come via email attachment as well. Now, remember, when you put your SAS key here, you also have to add the name of your container. So if you can focus, this will take you to the service itself, but after the slash, you have to enter the name of the container itself. So my container name is demo. I can show you here, demo. So I will put demo after that service address. So service address / demo, and then put it there and then click next and connect. And you will be connected with your blob container. And this is the picture I put inside that container. Oh, so you also need the application to open the file. So file is there, but I don't have any application in the sandbox to open the PNG. But still, to show you that the access is there, I can also create a new folder here. Let's say. Or let's say if we can delete this as well. So let's right click and delete it. And it's gone. So now you can go back and check. If I click on this container, yes, the item inside the container is gone. So this shows that with the help of SaaS keys, you can actually give privilege, or you can give access to someone over your environment. Now, this access can be very restrictive, or it can be very open. It all depends on your configuration when you were creating the SaaS key. If you don't want to create a SaaS key, well, you can again choose another authentication method, that is your Entra ID and RBAC. So you can go to access control, click on add assignment, and from here you can assign a role to someone, and according to that role, the access will be granted. So if, let's say I search for blob and I make someone the blob data contributor, that person can read, write, and delete access to that storage blob container. So you are giving basically the full control, but the only difference is this contributor cannot change the RBAC permission itself. This person cannot make their friend the owner as well. Then you have owner, that is the highest level of privilege. Then you can give reader and so on. And this permission also goes for other file services as well. Let's say you also have a file share. In that case, you can also integrate your file share with identity-based access. If you click on not configured, here you have a choice. You can connect it with Active Directory domain services, that is your on-prem AD. You can connect it with Microsoft Entra, that is your cloud service. Or you can also choose Microsoft Entra Kerberos if you want to go with the old school or the legacy, not legacy, the on-prem authentication flow protocol. And when you want to delete your storage account, just go there, click on the storage account, and click on delete. Now remember, if soft delete and other protection is enabled, it will not allow you to delete it. All right, so let's see what we covered in this module. Well, we saw that Azure encrypts data at rest and also in transit. And you can manage your own keys as well for that. Then we saw Azure Key Vault. This is the place where you can save your secrets, your keys, and also certificates. You can also control access using SaaS tokens, RBAC, and even identity-based access can be granted. Then we saw that features like soft delete and versioning helps you protect against data loss. Well, in this module, actually you learned how to protect your storage environment. But remember, there are so many other services and they also have their own security fundamentals. So if you want to know more and you want to dive deep, don't forget to go to NetSoft IT Academy. There we have full-fledged courses with labs as well as scenarios. So you get more hands-on approach. Well, now, in the next module, we will move to monitoring, logging, and threat detection, and learn how Azure helps you to get the alerts as soon as possible, track threats, and respond fast when things goes wrong. If this video helped you, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.